about doing the 75-day hard challenge program. Well, today we are sitting down with Alex, who wasn't much of a reader until he started his 75 hard day journey. So in our interview with Alex, we are going to be discussing how did he get started, is reading the hardest part, and also some reading recommendations. So let's get into the interview.
So, name's Alex Skeen. I am a real estate agent, former mechanical engineer, and really enjoying life.
How did you get started with the 75-day challenge?
So first off, it's actually a 75-day program. Everybody wants to call it a challenge, but it's actually a program, and it's geared towards mental toughness. So trying to make yourself do what you say you're going to do and sticking to it is basically the whole idea and premise behind it. It consists of 5 different tasks. You have to do all those tasks every single day. The reason I got into it is I'm trying to run my own small business as a real estate agent, and if I'm not accountable to myself, nobody's going to hold me accountable. So I was doing a decent job of doing that, but I wanted to get better, and that's when I discovered the 75 Hard program, and did it, and I am very much more accountable to doing what I say I'm going to do, and a lot of it is contributed to that, but just the mental toughness overall has increased on all aspects of my life, and that's why I started it to begin with, but it's definitely made a big change in my life, and definitely worth doing if you're ever thinking about it.
As a part of the 75-day hard program, you must read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. Is that the hardest part of the program?
I'd say no, but it all depends on your previous skill sets and what you like to do and not like to do. The thing I would say about the 75 Hard program overall is every task that you do is not difficult, but doing all of them every single day, that's the challenging part. The book, you definitely had to take the time to do it. I was not an avid reader before, so carving out that time during the day was probably the most difficult part of reading, but once I got reading, it wasn't too bad, and especially when you're reading a book that you really enjoy, it's really not too bad to carve out that time and actually do the reading itself.
What has your reading journey been like so far? Are you reading more than you anticipated? Are you enjoying the books?
So it's interesting how I've changed as I've done the 75 Hard program. So you go through, you pick out books. It has to be nonfiction, books, self-help, something to teach you something. And I noticed as I was going through that maybe some of the book choices I had at the beginning were a little bit more difficult as far as just what I was reading. But when I got into books that I really enjoyed, I was reading a lot more than my task, which is only 10 pages per day. So it definitely was dependent on the book and if I was enjoying it. But yeah, it's gotten easier over time, even if the book isn't as good, just because I'm getting used to that habit and continuing on. I'm not even in the program anymore, but definitely still keeping that habit. So,
how has reading nonfiction books impacted your personal growth and development?
So it has definitely impacted me overall. I've read a lot of books about business. One that I really liked was called Superfans. It's about building a social media following and getting people to really want to follow you and enjoy that. I enjoyed that because I do a lot of that. So applying what I'm learning in the book really helped in enjoying that book because I could see the results as I was doing it. So I think it's just a big deal on the books that you read and how much it impacts you. That one in particular impacted me a lot. Another one that I really have liked is email marketing book. I can't say the name on camera necessarily because it's a little bit of a bad word, but I really enjoyed that too because it did give me applicable things to actually go out and do, and it's made changes that in my weekly newsletter that I've really enjoyed and I've gotten great feedback on. So it's very dependent, but if you choose the right books, I do feel that it will impact what you do, and it has for me, just based on the books that I've been choosing to.
By reading these books, have you become YouTube famous overnight?
So no, I have not become YouTube famous overnight. I've ran my YouTube channel for coming on 2 years now, maybe, yeah, 2 years. As far as the reading goes and the mental toughness, it has helped a lot because I went from 1 video a week to doing 2 videos a week. And if anybody's ever edited or made videos or come up with topics, it is very taxing as far as the creative side. And forcing yourself to do that every single week, every week in and out, is a big thing. So having that reading as part of learning and doing the YouTube definitely has changed. But no, I'm not YouTube famous overnight. Every now and then I do get recognized, not very often. In fact, just 2 days ago I was walking through the village of East Davenport. Some gentleman on the other side had a cute golden retriever puppy, and he yelled over, "Hey, I love your YouTube channel." I was like, wait, what? But it's cool interaction, but that doesn't happen fairly often. I think it's only happened 3 or 4 times, but it's always cool when that does happen.
What do you think are some key qualities to look for in a good nonfiction book?
Ooh, that's a difficult one to answer because I think that it's more personal than anything. Like I said, there was a couple of books that I didn't really enjoy, but I got them as recommendations from people that really, really loved them. So I think it's dependent on where you're at and what you're interested in. I'm really interested in marketing, I'm really interested in business concepts, but for somebody else that may not be of any interest to them. So it's definitely where you're at, what your interests lie, what you're trying to get out of it is very dependent on if you're going to like it, if you're not going to like it, if you're going to get any use out of it. So you have to just go with wherever your passions are at that time and discover if it's really what you want to read in a book.
Do you have any reading tips?
Any tips? Just stick with it. You know, if you're not used to reading, it's going to feel daunting at first. Like I said, I wasn't an avid reader before. Now I don't feel like I'm ever going to quit reading. I've enjoyed it so much, but the first 30 days was difficult because it wasn't something I was used to. But once you build it in as a habit of yours, it will get much easier. So just keep going. That'd be the biggest tip for me because you're going to really get the benefits if you keep reading, and it's going to, in the long term, help you out in your life in general. So highly recommend it.
Book buying or the library, which do you prefer?
I've done both. I prefer the library because I see it kind of as a test run. If they have it. No, library has a ton of books, but they don't always have everything that you want. But the thing about the library is if I really like the book, for example, that email marketing book that I read, really, really liked it, would never probably picked it out, otherwise, but I saw it on the shelf, picked it out, and now I plan on actually purchasing that book because I want it. I want to be able to take notes in it, which the library looks down on, I guess. I don't know. But definitely library first and then book buying second. But I've done both, especially if the library doesn't have it. But again, the library is awesome because it's not just the library that you're at. At least locally, you can get books from pretty much any library. They kind of all work together locally. So they may not have it locally, but you can order it, quote unquote, order it. They'll get it for you, and then you can take it right back to the same library that you were at. So a lot of options. They don't have everything, but they have it.
What's been your favorite book you've read so far?
Well, I'd say it's either the Superfans or the email marketing book that I read. If I had to choose one, if you're forcing me, probably be Superfans, just because I like the idea of developing a community on social media to where people want to give back and just really enjoy the community as a whole, and that's what that book talks about. So that'd probably be my favorite of the books that I've ever read.
What are you currently reading?
Currently reading, it's called Flip the Funnel. It's about marketing and customer acquisition and how you should love on the customers that you have. I will say I'm not enjoying it entirely. It's a little bit of a dated book. Some of the principles aren't super relevant today, but it does still have some good concepts in there. I like it, but I may be bringing it back to the library. We'll see before I finish it. But needless to say, it's still a decent book, and I wouldn't have ever picked it up if I wasn't at the library. And who knows, maybe it will be a good book eventually. Maybe I'll just keep going and see what the end has in mind.
And anyways, that's going to be it for our interview with Alex today. So if you want to find out his YouTube channel and find out more about him, links will be in the description box down below. And don't forget to check out our whole entire playlist of librarian interviews. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we will see you next time for a new bookish video.